I'm Lily Holden, 32 years old. I work part-time at a local supermarket. My husband Alec is 35 and he's a manager at a mid-sized company. We have a 6-year-old daughter named Elsie who's in preschool. We are a family of 3, me, my husband and our daughter. We bought a single-family home a bit away from downtown and have been living here for 4 years. Life is good with a kind husband, a cute daughter, and a home we've always dreamed of. Our neighbors are, well, average. Since it's a newly developed area, most families are similar to ours. Most families in this area are recent arrivals like us, except for the farmer family living behind us. They've been here for a long time and have a large house. The farmer family consists of a husband and a wife and their son. Their son is 28 and, I heard, works at a factory. Their home is old and has a separate annex for their son. Nikki, the wife in the farmer family, is kind of weird. She's known for entering other people's homes and taking things. But since her husband is the community leader, no one really confronts them. People are scared they'll get harassed if they cross the farmer family. In other words, they abuse their power to do whatever they want. Even the gardening shovel I kept in our backyard disappeared one day. I don't want to accuse anyone, but considering the neighborhood gossip, it makes you wonder. Since then, I've been careful not to leave things unattended. Separately, something else has been bothering me lately. Our electricity bill has skyrocketed. It suddenly increased 2 months ago, and this month it crossed $1,000. This is not normal. It's too abnormal. It's absurdly high for a family of 3. Our highest bill until now was at most $200. Sure, it's getting hotter, but we're not excessive with the air conditioning. We have a mortgage and always try to save where we can. Why is this happening? I really don't know. I checked with Alec, but he's clueless too. Nothing in the house seems to consume that much power. So, concerned it might be an electrical fault, we had the power company investigate. But the inspection revealed no issues. I'm more confused than ever. I've started to be even more conscious of saving electricity around the house. I raise the temperature on the air conditioner and turn off lights whenever possible. I use the hairdryer for shorter periods and mostly dry clothes outside to avoid using the dryer. Yes, there's been almost no change in the bill. Why on earth is our electric bill not going down despite all our efforts to save energy? I'm stumped. Maybe the problem isn't inside the house after all. I decided to change my perspective. If it's not an issue inside the house, then it must be something outside. Come to think of it, there was an outlet outside. I remembered seeing an external outlet next to the water heater when I was tidying up gardening tools in the backyard some time ago. As I suspected, I went around to the back of the house and there it was. Cables were plugged into the external and water heater outlets, each with a splitter extending further. What? Is someone else using our electricity? I followed the cables and they led to the farmer family's property next door. So, if a cable is running from our external outlet to the farmer family's house, they must be the ones using our electricity. I immediately unplugged the cables. The next day, I checked and found the plugs reinserted. For the next few days, it was game of cat and mouse, plugging and unplugging. I realized this wasn't going to resolve itself and decided to talk to Alec. That night, I told Alec everything. How the cables were plugged into our outdoor outlet, led to the farmer family's house, and kept getting replugged. So the reason our electricity bill spiked is that the farmer family has been using it. That makes sense. Do you think we should confront the farmer family? Well, confronting them head-on might make them push back. Let's gather some evidence first. Install a security camera near the outlet. True, they are influential around here, but is it okay to leave things as is for now? We don't want them to catch on and destroy evidence. We can sue them for damages later. Good point, but it still feels wrong. Agreed. They need to face some consequences. But Mr. Farmer is the community leader and his wife, Nikki, is the head of the Women's Association. What if they retaliate? Most people around here are newcomers like us. So I don't think the farmers have that much influence anymore. Yeah, I've noticed we mostly talk to people around our age who recently moved here. In that case, we should be able to counter any retaliation from the farmer family. Be cautious and make sure to record all conversations with them. We'll consult a lawyer tomorrow. Sounds like the plan. I agreed with Alex's suggestion and we decided to consult a lawyer. The next day, Alec took a day off and we both went to see the lawyer. We told the lawyer about the electricity theft. Technically, taking electricity from someone else's property is theft. You could also press charges for trespassing since they are invading your property. They could get arrested if you report this to the police. Good point, but we're neighbors and the other party is a local bigwig. I'm concerned that making a big fuss could lead to retaliation. What should we do to handle this as smoothly as possible? Yeah, it's a tough situation. Ideally, the neighbor would realize their mistake and apologize, but from what you've told me, that seems unlikely. So, does that mean we'll have to file a police report? That makes me a bit anxious, considering what might happen later. But this is a real crime causing real harm. If you insist on handling it amicably, maybe you should talk to them directly. All right, I'll try that, thank you. After taking the lawyer's advice, I went to the farmer family's home alone the next day for a discussion. Nervous but determined, I headed to the farmer family home. Of course, I was recording the conversation. Hello, I'm Holden and I live in the house behind yours. Oh, you're Holden. What brings you here? Nikki was the one who came out. I noticed an electrical cord running from my house into your property. Are you aware that you're using my electricity? Nikki responded, We're not doing anything like that. But I've traced the cord back to an outbuilding on your property. Ah, that must be for my son Brian's aquarium. He keeps tropical fish and they do need a lot of electricity. Why are you using my electricity? Why not just use your own? I don't know. You'd have to ask Brian. You are his mother. Shouldn't you know what your son is up to? I really don't know. Brian is an adult. I'm not involved in his affairs. Then, please ask Brian. Brian isn't home right now. Please ask him when he gets back. What time is Mr. Bryant coming home? Brian's not here right now. He'll be home after 7 p.m. You can ask him then. All right, I'll come back around that time. She was quite an unpleasant person. I thought she lacked a sense of responsibility even about her own son. So I returned to the farmer family's home when I thought Bryant would be back. Bryant was there, but he was a quiet, gloomy guy. As I was explaining the situation again, Bryant led me to his room in the outbuilding. Wow, beautiful! I couldn't help but exclaim as he led me into the room. One room in the annex was spectacular. The entire wall was lined with aquariums filled with dazzling tropical fish. It was like a small aquarium. Each tank had a circulating pump and heater, all connected by cords to an electrical outlet. Bryant looks smug as he speaks. Beautiful, isn't it? Did you enjoy it? It's nice, but that's not the issue right now. But you enjoyed looking at this, so we're good, right? Wait, what do you mean, we're good? Brian says something incomprehensible. Look, I'm using electricity from your home, but you got to enjoy this display, so let's call it even for admission, okay? Excuse me? What are you talking about? It evens out. The electricity bill and the viewing fee cancel each other. No way, that doesn't make any sense. You get to enjoy these amazing tropical fish for free. I should be the one charging you. He says something outrageous. That apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I found myself oddly agreeing. I've been billed nearly $1,000 for electricity. We would never use this much. Where do you find such an expensive aquarium anyway? It's not a fair trade, and, by the way, stealing electricity is a criminal act. Bryant flashes an insincere grin. There's no issue, right? You got something worth the cost. Okay, we're done here. I get so frustrated by his nonsensical argument. Alright, I'm unplugging the cord now. Clean up and leave. And don't ever use someone else's electricity without permission. I won't let you do that. I've given you something worthwhile, and I can do it again. That's my line. There's no way I'm letting you use my electricity. I'm the one paying for it, you know. That's when Nikki steps in. Stop complaining. My husband is a neighborhood chairman. Keep this up, and you won't be able to live here. As expected, she used her power to threaten me. I expected her to pull rank. That's totally unreasonable. Enough, you're making a fuss over a little electricity. A little? It's nearly $1,000 a month. Nikki snorts. That's not my problem. Can you leave? You're being a bother. Frustrated, I decide I can't win this one and reluctantly leave. This is hopeless. I go home and report to Alec, who had returned. What's wrong with that woman? Well, she's worse than we imagined. So, what do we do? Alec puts his hand on his chin, thinking. I have an idea. What? How about we take a vacation? What are you talking about? Are you crazy? At a time like this? Hoping he had some sort of plan, I couldn't help but shout at Alec's misplaced words. Alec grins mischievously. Don't you think you're getting a little too worked up, Lily? Let's take a break for a day. I think Elsie would love it too. What are you even thinking about? Come on, don't say that. I'll take care of booking the hotel. Also, could you empty out the fridge? I became more and more confused about what Alec was thinking. Wait, are we gonna be stuck eating frozen meals for a while? That's fine. What are you even thinking? I'm just planning the trip. Alec's answer only made my heart hurt. So, we decided to take a weekend trip at the end of the month. Before leaving, Alec switched off all the breakers, disabling all the electricity in the house except for the security cameras, which run on batteries. Alright, we're all set. Let's go. Sure, whatever. I don't even know anymore. We got into the car, put Elsie in her car seat, and I took a seat in the back. At this point, I decided to just forget everything and enjoy the trip. Off we go. Okay. Elsie seemed excited about the long overdue trip, which lifted my spirits a bit. We did some sightseeing, had lunch, and finally arrived at the hotel in the evening. I don't get it, but once we're here, there's no point in worrying anymore. I decided to put aside the issues with the farmer family and enjoy our meal. I even had a little drink, tagging along with Alec. The three of us slept together on the king-size bed in our room. It did help relieve some of the recent stress. But I couldn't shake my concern. Did Alec just bring me on this trip to cheer me up? Is that all there is to it? As our fun trip came to an end, and we neared home, my spirits started to sink again. When we arrived home and stepped out of the car, the air around the house seemed to smell like something had burned. The next day, a neighbor filled me in while I was handing out souvenirs. "Hey, does it smell like something burned around here?" "Yeah, the farmer family's house had a fire the night before last. Seems their annex burned down." "Really?" Finally, I understood what Alec had been planning. It was crazy. Fire trucks everywhere, a real spectacle. "That annex is close to our house. That was a close call." "Yeah, if the fire had spread, your house would have been in danger too. But guess what? There were a lot of fish tanks in the room that caught fire. When they toppled over, the water spilled out and put out most of the fire." "That's a relief." I recalled that beautiful setup. Indeed, with all that water from the tanks, it should be enough to douse a fire, I thought, finding odd comfort in that act. But it seems like all of their tropical fish didn't make it. Apparently, some of them were quite expensive. To be honest, I've never really liked the farmer family, so between you and me, it feels like they got what they deserved. But keep it a secret, okay? After gathering some information, I go home to update Alec. Hey, it turns out it really was the farmer family who started the fire. Everything went according to the plan here too. All is good. Alec, who was reviewing the security camera footage, shows me a small monitor. There, I clearly see Mr. Bryant trespassing into our property. He seems a bit clueless, checking a power outlet and repeatedly plugging and unplugging something. We should take this footage to the police tomorrow. We've got all the evidence we need, so this will settle it. Absolutely, I can finally breathe easy. I found myself smiling for the first time in a while. The next day, we go to the police and submit our evidence, including the camera footage and the recorded conversations. The police respond immediately, and Mr. Bryant is soon arrested. According to the police, it seems that when our power was cut, he tried to ensure power for his tropical fish tank from his own home. However, he caused a fire by not thinking and overloading an outlet. The fire was almost catastrophic, but was put out by the water from the collapsing fish tank. Later, firefighters extinguished the flames, but all the fish tanks were destroyed and the tropical fish perished. We hired a lawyer and successfully recovered the additional electricity costs and emotional distress caused by the threats from Mr. Bryant. This incident revealed the past wrongdoings of Mrs. Nikki, who had been hiding behind her husband's power. Both Mrs. Nikki and her husband were removed from their community positions. The news of the fire and Mr. Bryant's electricity theft spread, causing the farmer family to lose their standing in the community. Their house is big, so it's not something they can easily dispose of and move. It seems they have no choice but to continue living there quietly to escape from their bad reputation and public scrutiny. As for Mr. Bryant, he was released on probation. He has since quit his job and seems to have become a recluse. For me, all the disputes have been resolved and my electricity bill is back to normal. I'm spending my days looking forward to Elsie starting elementary school next year. Even my friend, who was also troubled by the farmer family, said, "Life has been easier since the farmer family calmed down. Oh, but keep it a secret, okay?" May this town continue to be a comfortable place to live.